So if you found yourself recently sitting in fear, worry, and dread, concerned about the future, pause and remember the present is all that you have control of. Hello, friends. Cody Lee here. Welcome, welcome. Cards are ready to talk to you, it seems. What else do you have to say? Had a couple jump out already. Ancestor reversed and the King of Swords. Looks like we've got a message trying to get through that, yeah. There's a message that an ancestor is trying to get to you that has to do with your thoughts. I heard sternness. I'm feeling that they're trying to get something through to you, but there's some party that's being stubborn and not hearing the message. On the bottom of the deck, I've got the Ten of Wands, which is a very overburdened ant in this deck. Basically, this tells me that you've got so much on your plate and so many things going on and so much on your mind, and you're carrying way too much, that your seriousness, your directive to get all the things done and manage all the spinning plates, if you will, is causing you to miss a message. It feels sort of urgent, but not in a perilous way. Just a, hey, this would be really helpful if you would listen. Let's see if we can get more on what this is and speak to the collective here, those that are having this issue, that are having a hard time hearing their ancestor. What is it that they're trying to say? Wow. Oh. We've got the Eight of Swords here. We've got, in this deck, is a poor bunny entrapped in all these swords, surrounded by snakes. This card is saying you are in your head way too much about all these worries and thoughts and fears. I'm hearing really loudly fears about the future, fears about what could go wrong, what might happen, that you are not hearing the messages that are trying to come through to you to help you in the present moment right now. This is a really easy energy for us to fall into when we are so concerned, caught up, especially when we have influences around us talking about, what if this happens, then that could happen, and someone might do this, and you hear all these rumors, especially if you watch the news, or you're, in America. You will be seeing things happening around us that are concerning, and our minds, trying to keep us safe, will latch on to those notions, those fear thoughts, those what ifs, and spin stories. And every one of those stories it's spinning is represented by a snake or a sword in this picture. Now, if you look in this image, this is important for this particular message. The bunny is unscathed. None of those snakes are attacking the bunny. Technically, they're all kind of moving away from it. They're just around the bunny. The bunny is not pierced by a sword. He's surrounded by swords. Nothing is technically harming the rabbit. He just is surrounded by things that might. But there's also plenty of gaps in those swords. If you've ever seen a rabbit sneak through a fence, you know they can make it through a pretty small space. There's plenty of gaps between all those swords. And around those snakes, that rabbit could get out of that situation, but he'd have to choose to. He'd have to make intention in stepping out of this toxic environment, which unfortunately in this scenario, the toxic environment is one we've created in our minds, filled with fear thoughts, worries, and concerns that most of the time, they don't happen anyway. They don't come true. Our minds are trying to protect us, but in doing so, they keep us trapped in this headspace where we cannot hear when our ancestors, our guides, life, universe, God, whomever you trust, are speaking to us to help us right now. So if you found yourself recently sitting in fear, worry, and dread, concerned about the future, pause and remember the present is all that you have control of. And it's what you can make a change or a difference anyway. The present moment is. And take some time to practice silencing your mind in whatever way you can. Meditation. Some people meditate by watching the birds. Some people meditate by watching a a flame, the ocean, going for a walk in nature, or even just deep breathing is a great one too. There's so many different ways. And if you haven't found the one that works with you, I encourage you to try things and not give up, because there is something that will help quiet your mind. I know it can be difficult when we have so many things swimming around our mind. I'm telling you, it is imperative to practice quieting the mind. I'm going to say quieting the mind so you can actually think. Quieting the mind so you can actually hear. Because the universe is trying to get you a message. But you've got to be able to hear it. You have to have ears to hear and eyes to see. This is a message to pause and pay attention. Do what you need to do to quiet that mind and listen. They're talking to you. Ancestor has something to say. I hope this helps. Like and subscribe if you haven't. If you watch this to the end, put a bunny emoji in the comments. Take care.